staged by so-called cow vigilantes from fringe Hindu groups have targeted Muslims. Cows are considered sacred by many members of India's Hindu majority, and slaughtering cows or eating beef is illegal or restricted across much of the country. So just to give you an idea of how barbaric these attacks are, last Friday, a group of about 20 men attacked 4 Muslims on a train in New Delhi's outskirts, fatally stabbing a teenager and seriously injuring 2 others. The Muslim men said their attackers accused them of being beef eaters after an argument over seats. In the last 3 months, as many as 5 people have been killed as a result of this nonsense.
So it feels like an upside down world. For the people who would be upset with people eating beef in America are, generally speaking, vegetarians, vegans, a set of people who are very calm and not likely to violently attack people. There, because it's attached to a religion, what are you going to get? You're going to get fundamentalists. So are the majority of Hindus in India doing this? Of course not, right? But by the way, Modi, the prime minister, is from a nationalist Hindu party and had remained fairly silent about this issue for 2 years. Finally, he did speak out, which is good, and said, yeah, of course you shouldn't attack people because they believe in something different than you do. I make the same point about religion, which is I have no obligation to follow your religion. You have an obligation to follow your religion. So if you don't want to eat beef, have at it, Hoss, or don't have at it, okay? But if other people believe different things, you are not allowed to murder them. And, so, it's not our problem, literally. But if you wanted to make a big deal out of it, you go, look at this. The Hindus are always attacking the Muslims. In India, that's relatively true because they're the majority, right? You see, by nature, Muslims are peace-loving people who are being unfairly targeted. And by nature, Hindus are violent. Because look at if you just lived in India. Look, it's the Hindus always attacking the Muslims. Hindus attacking Muslims. No, it's a matter of socioeconomic, political situation where one is in the majority and the other is in the minority, and it's easier for the majority to attack the minority. That's only a tiny bit sophisticated conversation instead of me find religion, hate that religion. No, that also makes you a fundamentalist.
Something about the broad day, the number of times that we've done stories about broad daylight attacks in India. You know, I mean, the horrible sexual assaults that happened there, like on the bus, they murdered this teenager and seriously injured 2 others.
They lynched
on Friday, and they lynched the farmer, right? And then they just went onto a crowded bus, and they stabbed a bunch of people and they killed the teenager.
And the part in India, I know it's a funny thing to say, we're a very populated country, right? So even though, by the way, 14% of India is a small percentage of India, that's about 200 million Muslims in India.
Yeah,
it's actually one of the largest Muslim populations in the world.
And 86% of the country is not Muslim.
That's right. But so that only in India is 200 million people a tiny minority.
Right.
But it is true. And so there's these crowds that attack sometimes. So 20 people attacking at once. And it feels so much scarier when the mob comes for you. And so there's this terrifying aspect to this. Again, to be fair to Modi today, he's like, look, Gandhi would never have done something like that. Obviously a huge role model for Hindus and for, not just politically, but religiously, right? And obviously a vegetarian, etc. But his whole thing was non-violence. And so there's obviously fundamentalists of every stripe in every religion, and the sensible people should be working together to try to figure out how to curtail that fundamentalism. Super obvious, unless you have another agenda and you'd like to. I mean, could you imagine if we made the grotesque conclusion from this? Oh, it must be the Hindus. Their religion is intrinsically violent, right? No, of course not. It depends on the situation. So let's make the situation better.
It's valuable to us as a country. Wouldn't it make sense, just from a statistical point of view, Cenk, to prevent Hindus from coming into your country? Just talking statistics. Wouldn't that make sense?
All right, let's end on a positive note. I don't know if it's a positive note. It's an interesting note. Researchers at the University of California, Berkeley have looked into the issue of opioid use.